Welcome to Pure Dog Talk. I am your host, Laura Reeves, and you guys, it is a huge honor. We have a very, very special guest today as we work through our Love the Breeds series for this month. Kamilla Engen is a breeder in Norway of Norwegian Elkhounds, one of our top requested breeds to be discussed on the podcast. And Kamilla is joining us from Norway, and she judged the American Norwegian Elkhound National this year. And I'm just thrilled. So welcome, Kamilla. It is so great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to join you.
Excellent. So tell me, give us the 411, your background. How did you get involved in Elkhounds? How long have you been involved in the breed?
Yes. I grew up on the countryside in Norway, and my father, he had elkhounds all my life. He used it for hunting moose.
Right.
And in the 70s, he also had a small scale of breeding.
Okay.
I've had my own dogs from 2004, and I mainly use them for hunting moose and elk.
I just think that is so incredible, and I cannot wait to talk about that. Talk to us a little bit about, before we get into the actual working part, the history. This is an old breed, yes?
Yes, very old. The history goes thousands of years. We have excavations that discover that human beings in our part of the world kept similar kinds of dogs. So, and from early on, it had it could hunt for different kinds of animal, and one of the most typical thing about this breed is a distinct ability to cooperate. Right. So it was very usual for years, a lot of years, but it's from the 19th century they selected the right type and started to pure breed it. That's quite new in this breed.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, I just have visions of Elkhounds and Vikings, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just see that in my mind.
Yeah, definitively. They had dogs. Excavations knows that, but they used it for a lot of things. I think they guarded their herd, the cows and their sheep, and but they also, we have always hunted. We have reindeers here in Norway. The moose came a lot later, but and this dog was, like I said, it was a versatile dog that you can use on very different kinds of animal. So yeah, they had beer here. You can use them. We still do, not in a big scale because the beer is so rare in Norway, but we still do. So
awesome.
Yeah, this is our dog. This is a national dog in Norway. So we are very proud of this dog. So yeah, we like it.
Talk to us about just living with an Elkhound, right? For the average person anywhere in the world, we have listeners worldwide. They want to live with an Elkhound. How is it to just live with them and have them in the house with you?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked for. I was mentioning the ability to adapt, the ability to cooperate.
Yes.
So a Norwegian Elkhound that has allowed to live with close to their family, you will understand that they can read you and understand you perfectly. And that is also the ability to adapt to to modern life. So if the dog is allowed to join different kind of situation, meet other dogs, join choruses, and have some exercise,
Yes.
it's a perfect family dog. And you see, in Norway, we are allowed to hunt moose for about a month or so, two, and then the rest of the year, this is excellent family dogs. And yeah, we also enjoy our nature, and it's the perfect companionship if you are hiking, going in the mountain. And for my I always walk my dogs, and they are, yeah, yeah,
And so they are good off leash. Is that something that you're like, the dogs
yeah,
will come back to
yeah,
you? They won't just run
yeah.
and keep going.
Um, well, I I have a small breed, and my and they who buys puppies from me, they ask the same question,
Right.
and I always say that you get the dog that you deserve, because if you want the dog to get back to you, you have to start with that. It's a
Yeah.
training, of course, but if you start early and make it positive to come back to you, yeah, of course, because the ability that makes it also the enormously great hunter
Right.
is the ability to cooperate with the hunter.
Right.
I use my dog with a leash, but you can also use it loose. Um, and they have this ability is probably the thing that's the that's the reason that I have survived and are so, it's so many of them, I think.
Right. Right. And so describe a moose hunt with elkhounds. Do you hunt them in a pack? Do you hunt them one at a time? I grew up in a hunting family, and I have hunting dogs. I have bird dogs, right? So I have German
Yeah,
wire-hair pointers. And so I love to know about the breed's working ability. And I know that the listeners love to hear about that.
yeah. Um, we have two kinds of forums of hunting that we use these dogs. The one is the most usual is loose. You let the dog loose, and you have a GPS tracker on it, so you can see where it is. You can also see when it stands or are still, and you can hear the barking. Then you have contact with a moose.
Okay.
So, yeah, and the other one is with a very long leash, 5-6 meters. And let me just explain a little bit why we do that in Norway. Norway is a tiny country compared to the United States, and we have distinct areas that we are allowed to hunt. And then in this area, you will have the you can hunt a certain number of mooses, and not because these dogs they run far, and and a moose doesn't always stop, so then they run away, and then the hunt is over. So if you have small areas, it's very uh, um, yeah, it's a
Helpful.
good way of, yeah, helpful to have a leash, because then you can control it a lot more, and you can search for the whole area. If I start with the loose kind of hunting,
Right.
they let the dog go. Um, you see it on the tracker, GPS tracker, um, and the point is they use the wind. They raise their muscles towards the wind. If you've seen a Norwegian Elkhound or other dogs that hunt or locate things on the wind, they often do this.
Yes.
And then they locate the moose from quite a long distance. They are incredible, their ability to this. And then they locate it, they run over to it, and hopefully they are able to get the moose to turn around towards them to defend themselves. This is an old instinct that mooses have from wolves and bears. And yeah, they defend themselves with their forelegs. And then the dog barks in a calm pace. And from old times, when before the GPS trackers,
right,
hunter hear that noise,
yeah,
and then
that was their GPS.
yes, that was the thing. So
Yes.
they sneaked upon the dog and the moose, and then you have to be aware of the wind, where direction it come from. This is very important. And then you are so close that you can shoot the moose on distance. It's quite a sport, I can tell
Amazing.
you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We are at the Kentuckiana cluster of dog shows, and I'm talking to Dr. Karen Potter. She is a German Wirehair Pointer breeder, a Trupanion breeder, and she's also a veterinarian. And Karen's going to talk about what Trupanion means to her as a breeder, and also what it means for her as a veterinarian.
When I became a Trupanion breeder and I sent my litters out, I knew that they were going with 30 days of coverage had one of my owners have an emergency with them. That's comforting to me as a breeder to know that they can get help. As a veterinarian, there are many cases where we have to make decisions on how to treat things based on financial restraints. And when the financial restraints come into play, we can't always do absolutely everything for that pet. So if my puppies are covered at least for those first 30 days, I know that if they get sick, they can get the best possible care.
And you're usually working just with one dog, right? Not a group of dogs. Wow.
That depends, man. But dogs are a bit, they can be two that can go on the or bark on the same moose, but they want the moose for themselves. This is hunting. This is old instinct. So we often, if we let the dogs loose, we do it different places in the area that we allowed to hunt. So we use all the area, because we have quite a large population of moose and elk here in Norway. I don't know if this makes sense for you, but
it totally. I'm envisioning it, and I love, because you think of some of the, like the pack hounds, right? The foxhounds and the coonhounds, and they hunt in packs, right? So you think about that, and then you think about, no, this is my moose, mine. It's a very different kind of mind, right? That the elkhound has. And I love when you're talking about the barking, I think it's really important for people to understand these dogs bark. They bark a lot. And this is why.
They bark a lot. But let me say that it's also adapted to the modern life. So they're used to they can different situation. So when they're home, they are much calmer. When you use them for hunting, they bark. But it's a barking dog, yes it is. So you have to work a little bit with this, and they give them credit and for not barking in situation.
Right. Training them not to bark, I think, is definitely a thing.
It is. It's interesting that you mentioned these foxhounds in England when you have a horde or a pack of dogs. But in Norway, we have always been poor, and we hunt yeah, we hunted to survive, to get
Right.
meat.
Right.
So, and we are too poor to have a pack of elkhounds, so we had to make it with one dog or the top two or something.
I love that. That's really a insightful observation I hadn't considered. I think that's really amazing. And the breed is mostly pretty healthy, I think.
Oh yeah,
Just a
yeah,
few things that you can see with the breed.
yeah. This breed is a healthy breed,
Mm.
and I don't know, but it's pure breeded from its working ability, its function. So, and not just for how it looks. So we have our in Norway, if you want to use your dog breeding with it, you need to test it, gene test it for some few diseases, but they are rare. But that is what we know of. So I can mention that it's glaucoma. It's a kind of eye disease, if you know it. And some few, I've seen one, but not just one. It's dwarfism. That can, it's a mutation that gets it, and kidney failure. And we also test every dog's in X-ray for hips.
Right.
So we know, yeah, and the reason why we do is that we can put together a pair of dogs that makes healthy puppies.
Right.
But this is rare in Norway, and we have a big population over here.
Right. Right. Okay. And I know that grooming requirements vary. I mean, the US, we're very into our grooming, but I think it's important for people to understand the way the dog, the coat cycle that the dogs have, right? It's a double coated breed. It sheds once or twice a year, and it sheds a lot.
Yes, that, yeah, I would be lying if I said that this breed they change coat twice a year, as you say. But the Norwegian Elkhounds, yeah, it's easy to have it. You can brush it a week, but you will have some gray hairs in your car, and yeah, maybe on your pants or something. Yeah,
It
you
happens. It happens.
will.
It does. And I really think that you were talking a little bit earlier about how cooperative the breed is. And I think that that is something that we can talk about other in modern society. If you can't hunt a moose, right? So what are some of the things, like, are they good in like an obedience competition and some of those sorts of things?
Well, these dogs needs to work. So I know I talked when I was over to United States and judged the national specialty in May. They use their dogs and what you mentioned, and in agility and different kinds. So these dogs just love to work, and they need some exercise. But they have a unique ability to cooperate. But it's not a sheepdog. It's not a border collie.
No.
So yeah, but they like to work. So, and
they like to use their brains.
Yes, they really are, and they are their ability to cooperate with their handler or their owner, and it's not just attached to one person. It loves the whole family. It should not be aggressive. That's not the typical behavior of the breed, but they really need an active life and have different situations, so they are able to to deal with different situations. So I don't know if I can explain it, but I'm quite sure that they need an active, good life with a lot
Right.
of contact with other dogs and family.
And I
And
was going to ask, generally they are good with other dogs, or
yeah, but that depends on, are they used to meet other dogs?
right.
Otherwise, they are quite unsure, and because dogs have a unique language
Mhm.
that helps them to read each other and be able to meet without aggressive behavior. So
Right.
that counts for this breed too, of course. Yes.
So it sounds like a lot of early socialization, introductions
Yeah.
to lots of environments
Yeah.
and dogs and people. Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. I want to go moose hunting in Norway. I just think this sounds
Well,
fabulous.
yeah. I have some relatives in United States, in Montana,
Mm,
and they have planned for a long time to come over and join me. So, but I will recommend on YouTube you will find videos of hunting with Norwegian Elkhounds. Just
oh,
just
okay.
watch them.
Okay.
It's yeah, incredible to see. Um, and we yeah, we who have experienced this just love it. I
Well,
will
and you've
use
got moose burgers for life.
yeah, we do. And that too, moose is quite nice meat
Yes.
if you are
Yes.
able
I
to
have not
fry it.
had moose. I have had elk and I grew up
Yeah,
on venison. So I can
yeah,
only just assume that moose is even better. So
yeah. I think so, but
I love it. I love it. Well, Kamilla, thank you. Thank you so much for working through our technical difficulties this morning and sharing your knowledge about your beloved breed. I really appreciate it.
I'm so glad I could come and talk to your audience. So thank you so much.